Okay, so today we're back in our drum and bass track after a few days away from it here, and maybe not a lot of noticeable progress. It probably worked for 30 minutes here. I'm still pretty jet lagged. The main thing we did was like add some details to sections that needed them. One thing I really struggle with is having sound effects or having lots of small things that kind of hand off to each other to make a complete sound. And so I'm trying to like get better at doing that. And this section, if I mute the things we added here today, the third drop section, the beginning of it is kind of cool at the beginning. But definitely halfway through, you're like, okay, this is not enough of an idea. It feels like something's missing because we're basically doing the same thing we were doing a second ago, but with a different chord progression and without that main melody. So just bringing up the melody that was already happening in the background to louder doesn't really work. So we have a second melody come in here at the beginning, but if I have this melody played 2 different times, it's too much there. So I was like, well, this is a good section to try and like have some like pops and filters and stuff like that kind of like help make this section interesting. So I added all of these little sounds. You can tell me what you think about this. Let it play kind of into it. Which leads us into the other thing we did today, which I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, just these little like kind of pop filter's the wrong word there. Just little sounds like that, and this falling sound, which is still somehow too loud despite being so much quieter than everything else. Like it's so much louder of a sound by default. And then that leads into this little guy to get us out of it. I don't think it's great, but it was an attempt, and it took me so much time just to go through all the different sounds that are in Logic and try and find it. Figuring out what this was called, that I need to search for star effects. Falling star is kind of the label they have for all these. There's tons of these of different lengths in Logic in their folder over here. Like just look at all these falling star effects. The other like kind of really interesting thing we added, I think, was this sound was fine as it was, but I think in the in the breakdown section it needs to be a little bit more atmospheric. So we literally added something called atmosphere at dusk underneath it. That slowly fades up to kind of take its place. And have that Celtic flute synth thing go to the back. I don't think it's a perfect handoff here, especially this, like right at the beginning, you can really feel the kind of drop off in volume. So I think I probably need to have this start at the volume it was at and then fade down, not start at a lower volume, which is what I have it doing right now. I have it immediately going down. Other things that were good, small little note, but continuing to find great uses for Shaper Box just on the anthemic lead here. Having it do the tiny little cut here for the snare drum really did make a difference. You can listen to it here. I'll toggle it on and off. You can hear how much more space the snare drum has. I was closing my eyes there and seeing if I could hear the difference with that. I think I can. It does feel like maybe something that could maybe be placebo, but I feel like it cuts through a little bit better. I adjusted some MIDI on the bass to have it line up rhythmically with our rhythm section, but other than that, those are the main things I added today. Going through lots of little samples in the library and trying to learn where things are. That was the main stuff that we explored. Not a particularly exciting episode, but thanks so much for watching as we continue to build on this track. Appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.